So, one of my favorite things to do after spending time in prayer, after spending time reading my word, is to come outside and to be amongst nature. It's one of my favorite things to do is to see the trees, to see the birds, to hear all the different sounds that are outside. I just love it. It's one of my favorite things. And there's a scripture that I love, and that is in the book of Job, when Job was going through so many different things, and his friends were talking amongst him about all the calamities and the things that he was going through. One of the amazing things that Job would speak about is the creation. And he said things like, you can ask the animals and they will teach you, or the birds in the sky and they will tell you. Speak to the earth and it will teach you, or let the fish in the sea inform you. Which of all these does not know that the hand of the Lord has done this? In his hand is the life of every creature, in the breath of all mankind. It's one of my favorite scriptures, because what Job is saying is that the trees can teach you something, the birds can teach you something, the earth can teach you something. And a lot of times as Christians, we don't always look at that as communications, but Job made it very, very clear that these things had communications to us because it's God's creature. Like he created us, he also created the trees, he also created the sky, and things of that nature. There's a song that I love by Hillsong, and it's called So Will I. And in that song, it talks about the essence of, if the trees are going to worship you, if the rocks are going to worship you, so will I. As a believer of God, I'm going to be amongst creation and worship you. So one of the beautiful things about being in nature is that it also teaches us the love of God. When Job said that creation teaches you something, whenever I come out in nature after prayer, after worship, whatever the case may be, I'm reminded of the divine love of God, which is something that I believe God is really trying to bestow upon his children in this hour. There's a quote that I love from a book that I read recently, and it talks about divine love. And this quote says, "Divine love, the power which transforms men from within, the leaven by which the whole world is raised." When I read that scripture, it brings me to such an emotional place, because it reminds us how much the power that lies in love really is, and how important it is to operate not just by receiving divine love from God, but to be able to give divine love. And how important it is as believers that if we love one another, if we give love, if we make love our very essence, how much more, or how we're able to bring people to a higher place in God, bring people to walk in purpose. There's something that I love that I used to say when I would teach some of my mentees, is the essence of the fact that somebody that is loved well is a force to be reckoned with tomorrow. And I feel like whenever I come out in prayer and I just bask in nature, I'm reminded of the love of God, how we're so fortunate to have trees, how we're so fortunate to have grass, how we're so fortunate to be amongst creation and be one of God's creation. So it's just something that I love, something that I bask in. And whenever I'm out here, God continuously reminds me of his love.